Welcome to this Windows and Computer channel, and one of the things that is interesting in April 2018 update that I'd like to have fixed is these weird things. Like, I'm going to show you an example right here. So in the privacy settings, when you go to these menus, so for example here, privacy, and I went down to document, for example. So it says document library access on this device is on, okay? It says change, and you click and you get the on-off switch, which is, from what I understand, the same on-off switch that's right here below, which means, why did you do that if you have it just below it? I don't get it. It's weird. Now, if I turn it off here and change, it's still on. So it's not the same switch, but it's kind of weird. How do you, what's the difference? How do you? So allow access to document libraries on this device. Change. Allow apps to access your document library. It's kind of weird, because I understand that you want to kind of have some kind of switch to turn on or off the possibility, but why separate everything like this? It's bizarre. There should be one on-off switch, and there should be just a list of apps with individual switches. I kind of understand that, but it's full of these little weird things in Windows 10 that makes me wonder. They should probably go through the UI and have a fix for all of these things. There's too much bizarre things in the menus. It's interesting because when we actually look at the settings, okay, I get it, and it's nice that the settings app is slowly gaining all the settings from control panel, and it's going to be okay, and one day probably it'll be just in the settings, but they're doing things in the settings that are kind of, I'm kind of wondering why, why so many different weird things that do that. It's just, I don't know. I don't get it, honestly. There's something wrong in the way that Microsoft actually does this. And for a long time we've learned that Microsoft, of course, many teams at Microsoft work differently. They don't necessarily like or talk with each other much, and that's the reason probably why we have all these weird things here and there happening. It's kind of bizarre. Now, one of the things that's cool is that we know and we understand that the future of Windows is changing, because they're going to focus more on, apparently, little things like this, making things better, rather than actually having other apps or new apps and stuff like that. But still, it's a weird thing, and I wish there would be more consistency across the board in the different menus, and stop putting these little switches that mean the same thing in 8 different places. One is enough. You don't have to have 20 switches in different places. That's something that needs to be fixed in here, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see in the next few versions what changes or not. I look at my Insider machine, and if I go to the same settings in my Insider settings, so I go in there, what I'll see is in privacy and location. I don't know if they've modified it or not. I'm just looking right now. Did they actually modify that setting? So I'm going there right now, and I click documents like I just did here, and no, it's the same. So they haven't changed anything. I don't know. There needs to be something weird, and it's not at all easy for a lot of people to understand what switch is for what thing. Even me, when I look at the different switches and the different on-off stuff, I sometimes stumble in like, what does it mean exactly? What does it turn on or off? Anyways, that was my little rant for the day. But I think there really needs to be, I think they should sit down and look at all of this and say, okay, wait a minute. Let's just look at all of that and let's fix. And I think this is the main focus. The next few versions of Windows 10 should really be, let's fix what is weird before we continue adding new features, honestly. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.